Well, today we found a good article that I figured that people could uh, cover over, and I'm joined by me and Amanda Wolfchild. Say hello.
Hi everyone. Be warned, this cancer is stage 4. Have your bleach ready to go.
So keep your love locked down, your love locked down, keeping your love locked down, your love locked down, now keep your love locked.
Yeah, I found this incredibly cringy article that I found to be incredibly just downright just weird and cringy. Just take a look for yourself. Believe me, this guy is crazy down to the bone. White people should be banned from doing yoga. Seriously, folks, how hard is it to understand, and how often do we have to keep repeating it? White people are continuing to recreate colonialist violence with their cultural consumption. It has to stop. Okay, colonialist violence. I mean, I've never heard about that before, but I'm just judging of the word. I mean, that's incredibly strange and silly at the same time because nobody ever uses that colonialist violence anymore. Not probably not since the 1500s or the 1700s when people could still travel to a new world when there was uncharted maps. But seriously, nobody does that anymore. Nobody uses those words. So why on earth are you using those words?
Dude, don't you know blaming all white people today for the sins of the past is the new hip thing to do? Never mind, none of us were alive back then, and some of us don't actually come from the bloodlines of colonists, or the fact that our past can't be changed and it led us to the point we've reached today.
The only way to end systemic racism and intensive problematic is to force everyone to stick with their own race when it comes to the clothing we wear, the food we eat, and the arts we appreciate, and the lifestyle that we live. Anybody enjoying these cultural products that is not theirs, whether it is eating a traditional meal or wearing a sacred garment, is guilty of cultural appropriation. Uh, that is very questionable because basically what you're saying is, let's say a Japanese person decides to go to a Mexican restaurant. So would you say that is cultural appropriation based off what you're saying? Well, the answer from you is probably yes. And
Man, stuff like this, it's just so hard to tell. Are they trolling? I want them to be. I really do.
but seriously, you're not the arbiter of what I can and cannot eat or do. I mean, seriously, just who are you to say that I can and cannot eat that burrito just because I was born in the United States? Just saying.
Also, if you live in America, you most likely come from a mixed cultural background family. So, how will you enforce this? DNA ancestry tests before all purchases? Or by skin color and your actual heritage doesn't matter? Fucking bigots.
This violence must be stopped. You should only be allowed to enjoy the culture of your own race. Again, I have to say, I don't think you can tell other people that they can and cannot enjoy other people's cultures because other people's cultures are meant to be shared, aka multiculturalism. Like you SJW/feminists love to preach all the time, so if you were. And basically, if you wanted multiculturalism to work, then what you were saying is contradictory to that. Just saying.
Basically, once you discover something and you like it or find it useful, you make it yourself, slightly different, more to your taste. Other people see it and like it, and it goes on and on. This has happened throughout our history as a species, as has population shifts from one area to another. Yes, we have advanced beyond the methods of the past when we do these kinds of things, but we should celebrate the fact that we do these things more peacefully and less out of survival necessity now. But blaming the generations alive today for the pain caused by people they may not even have a connection to that lived generations ago based solely on skin color is racist and insane. Yeah, sorry, no offense, dude, but I'm gonna take over the reading now, okay?
Okay.
Whenever I see someone whose cultural heritage does not descend from the subcontinent of India practicing yoga, I want to scream out at them for their theft of an ancient sacred practice. The way Westerners have reduced yoga to a trendy form of exercise is just another example of how colonialism continues to plague us. Yoga is a centuries-old tradition of mindfulness, with physical practice only one part of the system. Unless you grew up Indian, learning these ancient traditions of your own people using the sacred objects in their intended manner, you should not be allowed to practice yoga, as trendy yuppie moms call it.
Again, seriously, like, who are you to say that, let's say, who are you to say a Mexican person and tell them that they can't appreciate some, American special only sports? And the same thing will go to, say, people going to McDonald's, because believe it or not, the hamburger was made in Germany, as far as I understand it. It didn't come from the United States, but yet we do that sort of practice of eating that stuff all the time. So by your own logic, literally, the majority of countries are already doing that, so your point is mute. Just saying.
These people in their Lollimon spandex yoga suits ignore the sacred and profound aspects of yoga as they grunt through half-assed stretches. They are literally recreating the same colonialist violence that Britain inflicted on India through yoga.
Seriously, I don't think practicing yoga is actually recreating any sort of colonialist violence. If anything, that's just an exercise routine. And for you to say that it's somehow colonialist violence, it just strikes me as a rather tinfoil hat crazy. Again, just saying.
We should do like the upstanding student leaders at the University of Ottawa who demand yoga be brought down for its flagrant recreation of cultural genocide. We need to decolonize our yoga practice. And this nonsense is why I'm not sure it is a troll. I mean, the left does this kind of shit. This article is being racist as fuck, forcing people to conform to little cultural boxes, and white people is meant to all be in one big empty box because all we do is steal culture. That's the kind of shit they actually say. So I'm not sure if this is a troll or not.
Okay. And the mere fact that a university did that is kind of scary, especially when, that kind of raises the question of, okay, if you're not going to allow people doing that stuff, then where is it going to end? Like, will we even be able to, say, smoke? Will we be able to, say, wear clothing, or even just wear shoes, because those are all things that didn't come from our culture, dum-dum? Especially with hockey, and also, just other sports as well.
My soul weeps every time I smell the waft of mall food court Chinese. A noble and ancient culinary practice has been raped by American food engineering to become nothing but a foul simulacrum of Chinese cuisine.
Your choice of words, using the word raped, is, I mean, seriously, I don't think, even with the American fast food Chinese joints, they aren't raped. What it is people with independent, investments actually invested into starting those businesses. In fact, I've met a couple of actual Chinese people that actually started their own Chinese business. and yet many of their employees are American. So basically, your logic is literally saying that that basically the whole Chinese restaurant thing's been raped because we have just done it more often is very silly, especially when there are actual legit people from China or Japan or wherever the case is that actually start their own businesses over here. So it's nonsensical. Seriously.
First, the Americans make fun of your food. Once they have convinced you it is worthless, they start enjoying it themselves and demand you adapt to their palate. They take your tastes and techniques and repackage them with bland Western stamp of approval. First off, okay, yeah, people poke fun at things that are new and different and weird to them. That happens. Who gives a fuck? Everybody does it. It's not just the Americans. Everybody does it. And secondly, if someone else's opinion can convince you that your entire culture's cuisine is worthless, what the fuck is wrong with you? And no one demands that you adapt to their palate. They adapt it to their palate themselves. If you want to sell it here in America, then yeah, you should adapt it to an American palate, because this is America. That's just common fucking sense if, you want to make money.
It's called sharing, dude. It really is called sharing because when we try it out, we tend to add things to it. It doesn't make it bland, but I'm just saying we tend to just try new things and change it up a little bit. Hinting, aka multiculturalism. That's what it is about, sharing stuff, which you seem to be against.
It is an absolute disgrace that serves to re-illustrate the capture and enslavement of people of color all throughout history. Somehow, only college-aged social justice warriors are truly able to see these atrocities. Students at Oberlin valiantly took down their cafeteria's offensive recreations of Asian cuisine.
I don't buy that, because there are way too many people that love Asian foods, and not only that, I mean, if that was true, I mean, you guys have gone mentally mad. Just saying, I mean, you consider it offensive just to recreate this stuff? I mean, seriously, you're limiting yourselves down to a very small section of foods that only came from America. Like, you don't realize that most of everything that we eat does not come from America. Not even oranges, for that matter.
And you know what this here tells me? I don't want to go to Oberlin. I don't want to send my kids there. Why the fuck would you want to go to a school that won't let you have some Asian food just because it's Asian food and they don't believe it's up to the standards of authentic enough? Fuck you, if it tastes good, give me some fucking ramen. They're right. We need a full takedown. The only way to solve our dilemma of culinary appropriation is to ban all ethnic food that is not 100% authentic. And people can only enjoy food of their own race due to issues of cultural sensitivity.
Okay. Well, good luck with that, because even if you were a politician, even if you were a person of power, I doubt you'd be able to even... you would have your way, because way too many people love this idea of trying new stuff. In fact, at the time of this recording, I'm having a burrito, so in your eyes, I'm being offensive.
It's not even just about trying new things. It's about how are you going to tell somebody what their cultural background is? Do you know? Do you know what their family tree was? You don't know. We're all a mix, a blending of a bunch of different fucking people. The world has come together a lot right here in America with immigrants coming in and then they blend with other immigrants. And you don't know, the white person next to you could have a lot of African in their history, their ancestry, or a lot of Indian or Chinese. It just didn't come out because there's also a lot of white. A lot of British, German, Irish. So again, we come back to, what are you going to do? DNA ancestry test everyone before they buy, touch, use, enjoy anything? Or are you just going to go by their skin color because you're a fucking racist? Cultures in West Africa may have invented an incredibly beautiful and practical piece of clothing, the dashiki, but only they are allowed to wear them. I don't care if you wear it to Coachella because it looks cool, is good for hot weather, and moves well when you dance. Unless you're a West African, wearing a dashiki is a revolting act of cultural appropriation. Fashion is one of the biggest offenders of cultural appropriation. Native American patterns were all the rage in New York fashion magazines. Japanese garments stroll down the runways in London. And don't even get me started on espadrilles. Fashion is one giant cultural appropriation minefield and must be stopped. Fashion must be stopped? So, unless you are wearing the clothes of your people, you better have on a joyless smock. Those are your options.
I reject your options because you're boring. I'll say you that. I'm not saying this article is boring, but you in particular are, because if you want to cut yourself off of other stuff, that's fine, but what you're asking for is literally a life of just of not enjoying the wonders of the world, and it's going to lead you down to a very miserable place. I mean, I would imagine this guy being at the corner in the street somewhere, and he's all pissed off because I'm eating a hamburger, and he'll be saying cultural appropriation while he's eating his very, very small palette of only American stuff. Which, mind you, we don't have that much in terms of America food, so we only have nuts. That's it. We don't have much of anything else, so you would be pissed off because we'd be enjoying things that are naturally good.
No, you can wear a dashiki whenever you want, wherever you want, whoever you are. Because who the fuck does this person think they are to tell others what to do? And the joyless smock line also leads me back to thinking this is a troll again. Seriously, what does it say about the world that I honestly can't tell? Envision a better world, free from racism, colonialist violence, and the much dreaded problematics. We can get there, but first we must acknowledge our theft and genocide of culture that is not our own. To be culturally sensitive, we must only consume cultural products of our own race. Any sort of racial mixing is verboten. After all, culture is not meant to evolve. It is a sacred, ancient thing that must never change. You just have to be a fucking troll. Dude, you have to be. Because change is the very nature of the universe. And as we're all now connected via modern technology, all cultural things are up for grabs. Anyone who sees it and likes it is free to make it. If enough people see and use something, it could become part of a global culture or internet culture, or even just be adopted into a local culture. You have no say or right to impede that, and you can't. There is no rational way to enforce what you are asking for.
Seriously, you're saying you're against cultures changing or growing? I mean, man, you're backwards. You're perhaps the most backwards SJW/PO or maybe PO or whoever you are that I've ever seen or heard. Well, too bad for you, because, I mean, cultures around the world change all the fucking time, I'm just saying. Like, you can't expect the burrito to stay the same in 100 years from now. Or even other objects. And again, you're not the arbiter of what people should and should not do, so yeah. I would hope that everybody learned a lesson that apparently white people should not be allowed to have yoga, and also people shouldn't cultural appropriates anything that doesn't come from the same country as them. And remember, kids, always eat that burrito because it'll piss off this guy. And I really did enjoy this collab, so thanks for doing this with me, Amanda.
Definitely thanks for doing this, Forbidden. Y'all go check out his channel. He does lots of things, from an in-depth cover of Steve Shives to battling Migleys. Well worth a browse through the cancer that is the comment sections of those videos. Hope y'all enjoyed whatever the hell this was supposed to be. And since I haven't shouted him out in a little while, definitely go check out Darkling Studios. He does the art for this channel, and it's really fucking awesome.
Take it easy, and see you all later, and I gotta finish this burrito.
Much love, everyone.